There is an ancient principle in geopolitical economics. The global monetary order collapses when Southeast Asian nations, historically subordinated to Western capital, form monetary alliances with their continental neighbors. It's a structural law as immutable as financial gravity. For 190 years since the Bowring Treaty of 1855 that opened Siam to forced British trade, Thailand has operated within financial systems designed in London, then New York, then Washington. But this week, that subordination ended. Last Thursday, Thai Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin officially announced that Thailand will join BRICS as a full member effective January 1, 2025. Asia's 10th largest economy, with GDP of $556 billion, now aligned with a bloc representing 45% of the world's population and 36% of global GDP. And here's what the corporate media doesn't want you to know. This isn't symbolic membership in a talking club. This is Thailand formally abandoning the Western financial system for alternative monetary infrastructure built by China, Russia, India, Brazil. I'm a former International Monetary Fund analyst. For 11 years, I modeled how monetary architectures determine global power hierarchies. I saw classified projections on BRICS expansion. I analyzed desdollarization scenario simulations. And what's happening now in Bangkok isn't opportunistic defection. It's the calculated culmination of 30 years of Western financial exploitation that finally pushed Southeast Asia too far. Janet Yellen, U.S. Treasury Secretary, flew to Bangkok 4 times between 2022 and 2024. 4 desperate trips. The chief of the U.S. Treasury begging Thai Finance Ministry officials to reject BRICS membership. Yellen offered expanded U.S. market access, World Bank financing for infrastructure, IMF support for monetary stability, partnership in the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework. Bangkok heard each offer politely, then calculated that China buys 14% of Thai exports, invests $47 billion in Thai infrastructure projects, and offers yuan trade that avoids dollar volatility. The United States offers market access linked to intellectual property compliance, IMF loans linked to austerity conditionalities, and rhetoric about democracy while supporting military coups when elected governments don't align with American interests. Because here's the truth Washington refuses to face. You cannot impose 30 years of structural adjustment that transfers wealth from Asia to the Western banking system, then expect gratitude when China offers an alternative without austerity conditionalities. Let me take you through the systematic financial exploitation of Thailand that created the political momentum for this historic break. Because Thailand didn't wake up last Thursday and casually decide to end 190 years of Western financial integration. This is retaliation built on decades of manufactured crises, predatory bailouts, and debt extraction that left generational scars on Thai economic memory. In 1855, King Mongkut of Siam signed the Bowring Treaty with Britain under threat of naval bombardment. The treaty forced Siam's opening to British trade, limited Thai tariffs to 3%, granted extraterritoriality to British subjects. For 80 years, Siam could not protect domestic industries or control monetary policy. The British extracted rice, teak, tin at London-controlled prices, while Siam imported British-manufactured goods at inflated prices. By 1932, when constitutional revolution ended absolute monarchy, Siam had transferred approximately $42 billion in 2024 inflation-adjusted value to British commercial interests. That was Phase 1 of Western financial subordination. Phase 2 began after World War II. Thailand allied with the United States during the Cold War. In exchange for allowing American military bases, Thailand received aid that came with conditions: opening the banking sector to American banks, linking the baht to the US dollar, implementing free market economic policies designed in Washington. By 1985, American banks controlled 38% of Thailand's banking sector. Citibank, Chase Manhattan, Bank of America, all operating in Bangkok, lending in dollars at interest rates determined in New York, not Bangkok. When the dollar strengthened, Thai dollar-denominated debt became unpayable. When the dollar weakened, imported inflation destroyed Thai savings. But the real plunder came in 1997. The Asian financial crisis began in Thailand in July, when currency speculators attacked the baht. The Bank of Thailand defended the baht by spending 33 billion in foreign exchange reserves. Reserves depleted. The baht collapsed 56% in 6 months. The Thai economy contracted 10.8% in 1998. Here's what Western media doesn't report. The crisis wasn't an accident. It was a coordinated speculative attack led by Western hedge funds, primarily George Soros's Quantum Fund, which bet against Asian currencies and forced devaluations that generated billions in profits for speculators while destroying Asian economies. Thailand requested IMF assistance. The IMF offered a $17 billion bailout package, but the bailout came with 17 structural adjustment conditions: raise interest rates to defend currency, cut government spending, close insolvent financial institutions, open financial sector to foreign ownership, privatize state enterprises, eliminate subsidies for farmers. Read those conditions carefully. The IMF demanded that Thailand destroy its own economy to pay debts to Western creditors. Interest rates rose to 26%, killing small businesses. 56 Thai financial institutions were forcibly closed. Assets sold to foreign banks for pennies on the dollar. Unemployment rose from 2.2% to 5.4%. Millions of Thais pushed into poverty. And here's the brutal insult. While Thailand suffered IMF-forced austerity, the speculators who caused the crisis celebrated massive profits. Soros's Quantum Fund earned approximately $1 billion betting against the baht. American banks bought distressed Thai banking assets for 20 to 30 cents per dollar of real value. The IMF didn't rescue Thailand. The IMF rescued Western creditors by forcing Thailand to honor dollar-denominated debts while foreigners bought Thai assets at fire sale prices. By 2001, Thailand had fully repaid the IMF loan plus interest. Total cost? $22.3 billion. But the real economic cost was $340 billion in lost GDP during contraction, 2 million destroyed jobs, an entire generation of Thais who experienced poverty during forced austerity. That 1997-2001 experience is burned into Thai economic memory. Every Thai politician remembers. Every Thai economist remembers. And when the IMF now warns about risks of joining BRICS, Thailand remembers who caused the last crisis and who benefited. But the exploitation continued. In 2006, Thai military overthrew Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra in a coup backed by monarchist elites and foreign creditors. Why? Because Thaksin implemented debt relief programs for farmers, universal health care, rural infrastructure investment, policies that reduced debt transfers to Western banks. The United States didn't condemn the coup. The U.S. ambassador declared neutrality. The World Bank continued loans to the military government. The message was clear. Democratic governments that reduce Western financial profits are expendable. Military juntas that maintain debt payments are acceptable. In 2014, another military coup overthrew the elected government of Yingluck Shinawatra. Again, the United States expressed concern but imposed no sanctions. The IMF continued normal operations. But when Myanmar had a coup in 2021, the United States imposed sanctions because Myanmar's junta aligned with China. The hypocrisy was exposed. So what happened? Prime Minister Srettha Thavisin faces economic mathematics that make BRICS membership inevitable. Thailand exports $298 billion annually. China buys 14%. ASEAN buys 26%. Japan buys 10%. 62% of Thai exports go to nations that are BRICS members or considering membership. Here are the numbers that drove the decision. Under the current dollar-denominated financial system, Thailand pays approximately 11 billion annually in monetary transaction costs, currency hedging, and dollar risk premium. That's 2% of GDP transferred to Western financial intermediaries just to process trade. Under BRICS proposed bilateral trade systems using local currencies, Thailand would reduce these costs 70 to 82%. Annual savings, 8.4 billion. Over 10 years, 84 billion remaining in the Thai economy instead of flowing to New York and London banks. More critical, BRICS membership provides access to the BRICS New Development Bank, which has disbursed 33 billion in infrastructure loans without IMF austerity conditionalities. Thailand needs 120 billion in infrastructure investment over the next decade. The World Bank offers loans linked to privatization and austerity. The BRICS NDB offers loans linked to infrastructure development. Observe the political impossibility Sretha faced. He could remain in a Western financial system that extracts 2% of GDP annually and links infrastructure investment to austerity conditionalities. Or he could join BRICS and access development financing without conditionalities while reducing transaction costs. The mathematics demanded joining BRICS. First failed Western response, trade exclusion threats. In September 2024, U.S. trade officials warned that Thailand's BRICS membership would jeopardize preferential U.S. market access under the Generalized System of Preferences. Thailand exports 29 billion to the United States annually under GSP. Thailand calculated the impact. Losing GSP would increase tariffs by approximately 2.3 billion annually. Painful, but manageable. Remaining in the Western financial system costs 11 billion annually in transaction costs. Joining BRICS saves 8.4 billion. Even with GSP loss, BRICS is mathematically superior. Second failed response, pressure through the IMF. In October 2024, the IMF published a financial stability assessment warning that countries using bilateral trade mechanisms outside the dollar system face increased risk of financial fragmentation and increased borrowing costs. The report specifically cited Thailand. 3 weeks later, Thailand announced currency swap lines with China, India, Russia, totaling $47 billion, completely bypassing dollar intermediation for trade with these partners. The IMF warned. Thailand built the alternative anyway. Third failed response, World Bank incentives. In November 2024, the World Bank offered Thailand an 8.2 billion infrastructure package with concessional terms if Thailand rejected BRICS membership. The package included railway financing, port upgrading, power grid modernization. Thailand asked if the financing would come without austerity conditionalities. The World Bank could not guarantee absence of conditionalities. Thailand pointed out that the BRICS NDB offers similar terms without forced austerity. The World Bank could not match terms. Thailand rejected the offer. Fourth failed response, financial disinformation campaign. In December 2024, Western financial media published articles warning that BRICS membership would result in capital flight, credit rating downgrade, and foreign investment crisis. Bloomberg cited anonymous analysts projecting capital outflows of 15 to 23 billion. Actual data contradicted the narrative. Foreign direct investment in Thailand increased 11% in Q3 2024 after the BRICS announcement. Why? Because Chinese, Indian, Russian investors increased investment, anticipating improved trade integration. Projected Western capital outflows were offset by Asian inflows. The irony is total. The West spent 30 years extracting wealth from Thailand through manufactured crises, predatory bailouts, and dollar transaction costs. When Thailand finally chose an alternative system that reduces extraction, the West warned the alternative would cause financial instability. Thailand tested the alternative. The instability didn't materialize. You cannot manufacture a financial crisis that destroys a nation's economy, then rescue it with austerity conditions that transfer assets to your banks, then expect perpetual loyalty. You cannot support military coups against elected governments when those governments reduce your profits, then preach about democracy. You cannot charge 2% of GDP in monetary transaction costs for decades, then act surprised when a system that eliminates those costs is chosen. The West attempted all three simultaneously and lost. Now, I want to mention here John Mearsheimer, whose theory on great power competition explains precisely why Thailand chose BRICS over the West. Mearsheimer argues that states pursue power to secure survival in an anarchic international system. But power isn't just military capability, it's economic autonomy. For 190 years, Thailand lacked economic autonomy. It operated within financial systems designed in London, then New York, then Washington. Those systems systematically extracted wealth during crises, bailouts, trade processing. Joining BRICS is assertion of economic autonomy. Mearsheimer would predict this outcome. When a hegemonic system becomes extractive rather than mutually beneficial, subordinate states seek alternatives. BRICS is that alternative. Professor Jeffrey Sachs of Columbia has extensively documented how IMF structural adjustment conditionalities transfer wealth from developing countries to Western creditors. In his 2005 book, The End of Poverty, Sachs calculated that the 1997-1998 crisis in Asia transferred approximately $240 billion in wealth from Asian economies to Western banks through distressed asset purchases and forced debt service payments. Thailand was the epicenter of that transfer. Joining BRICS is Thailand saying, "Never again." Professor Carmen Reinhart of Harvard, former World Bank chief economist, has written about debt intolerance in emerging markets. Reinhart shows that countries that experience severe debt crises develop institutional aversion to external borrowing denominated in foreign currencies. Thailand experienced severe crisis in 1997. It developed exactly the aversion Reinhart predicts. BRICS membership allows Thailand to trade and borrow in currencies not controlled by powers that manufactured the previous crisis. Theory predicted the search for autonomy. Data confirmed the search. Practice executed the search. The Western financial order in Asia rests on two pillars. Both are collapsing simultaneously. For 70 years, Asian trade settled in US dollars processed through Western banks. This settlement monopoly allowed banks to charge transaction fees, foreign exchange spreads, and hedging fees that extracted 2 to 3% of trade value. For Asia exporting $5 trillion annually, that's 100 to 150 billion transferred annually to Western financial intermediation. Look at what's happening now. Thailand joins BRICS on January 1, 2025. Malaysia applied for BRICS membership in November 2024. Indonesia is negotiating membership terms. Vietnam is watching Thai results before deciding. The Philippines under Marcos is exploring options. If complete ASEAN joins BRICS, 3.2 trillion in intra-Asian trade shifts to local currency settlement. That eliminates 64 to 96 billion in annual Western banking fees. 64 to 96 billion that remains in Asia instead of flowing to Manhattan and the City of London. Total the shift. Thailand processes 100 billion in foreign trade annually. 2% in dollar transaction costs, 2 billion annually. Multiplied by 10 ASEAN economies, 20 billion annually. Over 10 years, 200 billion remaining in Southeast Asia. That's not marginal cost optimization. That's massive wealth recovery from Western financial extraction. The second pillar is development lending, controlled by the World Bank and Western-dominated Asian development banks. These banks link financing to conditionalities, privatization of state services, financial market deregulation, fiscal austerity, opening to foreign investment. Watch the alternative emerging. The BRICS New Development Bank has disbursed 33 billion since 2015 without austerity conditionalities. Zero loans require privatization. Zero loans demand social spending cuts. Loans finance infrastructure with repayment linked to revenue growth, not austerity targets. Thailand now accesses this financing. Infrastructure projects rejected by the World Bank due to insufficient fiscal viability become financeable through NDB. Bangkok-Chiang Mai high-speed rail, 19 billion. Rejected by World Bank, approved by NDB in December 2024. Lem Chabang and Map Ta Phut port modernization, 14.3 billion. World Bank demanded privatization of port authorities as a condition. NDB requires no privatization. Construction begins March 2025. The pattern is clear. Development projects that strengthen national economy but reduce Western corporate profits are blocked by Western financing. BRICS financing eliminates the blockage. Now watch the fully operational alternative monetary architecture. China launched CIPS system in 2015. It processes 13 million daily yuan transactions. India launched UPI system for rupee payments, integrates with CIPS for India-China trade. Russia operates SPFS for ruble transactions, integrates with CIPS and UPI. Thailand now integrates its prompt pay system with CIPS, UPI, SPFS. Transactions between Thailand, China, Thailand, India, Thailand, Russia now settle in baht yuan, baht rupee, baht ruble without dollar conversion. Thailand's BRICS membership isn't just symbolic. It's operational technical integration into alternative payment infrastructure that bypasses Western-controlled SWIFT system. By 2026, 34 BRICS economies will be fully interconnected for dollar-free trade settlement. 34 economies representing 45% of world population, 36% of global GDP. All trade between them processes without Western banks. This isn't hypothetical architecture. This is operational infrastructure processing trillions in annual trade. For 190 years, the West had a magic trick. Control the settlement infrastructure that processes global trade, extracting fees from every transaction. That trick is ending. Are you enjoying this analysis? This is precisely the information that Western financial media systematically ignores, because revealing these patterns means admitting that a 190-year monopoly over Asian finance is collapsing. If you find this content valuable, subscribe immediately. Join 103,000 viewers waking up to monetary revolutions, redefining global power architectures. We're not here to defend the Western banking system. We're here to explain how that system is being replaced. And hit that like button, not for metrics, but because YouTube suppresses content challenging Western financial hegemony. Every like signals that de-dollarization analysis deserves to reach audiences consuming mainstream narratives about dollar permanence. Comment your location, city, and country. I need to understand geography because Thai BRICS membership affects different regions differently. If you live in Thailand, you're witnessing recovery of financial autonomy. If you live in New York working in finance, you're witnessing erosion of banking fees that finance Wall Street. If you live in China, you're witnessing validation of the strategy building alternative monetary infrastructure. Share this video with someone believing dollar hegemony is permanent, because it's not. It's conditional on providing more value than alternatives. When an alternative reduces costs by 2% of GDP and eliminates austerity conditionalities, the choice is obvious. Financial establishments count on you being too distracted to notice that Asia's 10th economy just abandoned the Western monetary system for BRICS. Show them you're paying attention. Now let's talk about what Thai BRICS membership means for your investments, your trade costs, your monetary exposure. If you live in the United States or Europe, holding investments in Asian emerging markets, you just saw risk increase. Mutual funds holding dollar-denominated Thai bonds face conversion risk when Thailand shifts to baht or yuan debt settlement. 37 billion in dollar-denominated Thai bonds may not renew in dollars when they mature. Your pension funds likely hold Asian emerging market bonds. When those bonds shift from dollar denomination to local currency or yuan denomination, fund managers must hedge currency risk. Hedging costs 0.5 to 1.2% annually. That cost comes from your pension returns. Your banking sector. American and European banks processed 100 billion in Thai trade annually, earning approximately 2 billion in fees. With Thailand shifting to CIPS, those fees transfer to Chinese banks. Citibank, HSBC, Standard Chartered, all will report reduced Southeast Asian revenues. Banking stock prices already fell 5 to 8% after Thailand's BRICS announcement. Your dollar. Every nation abandoning dollar settlement reduces global dollar demand. Thailand shifting 100 billion in trade out of dollars means 100 billion less in annual dollar demand. When demand falls, currency value falls. Thailand's contribution to dollar devaluation, marginal but cumulative. When Malaysia, Indonesia, Vietnam follow, cumulative effect becomes significant. But here's the critical asymmetry. This doesn't distribute impact equitably. If you live in Thailand, your government just reduced trade costs by 2% of GDP. That's 11 billion remaining in the Thai economy annually. The government projects using savings to subsidize energy prices, expand rural health care, reduce farmer debt. From Thai perspective, this is direct economic dividend from monetary sovereignty. If you live in China, your government secured that Asia's 10th economy is now integrated into the yuan payment system. China-Thailand trade of 43 billion now settles in yuan baht without dollars. That increases yuan internationalization from 78 countries using yuan for trade to 79. Each country added increases structural yuan demand. If you live in India, you're witnessing similar expansion. India-Thailand trade of 13 billion shifts to rupee-baht settlement. Expansion of India's UPI system. Each integration increases India's regional monetary power. If you live in Russia, you see validation of SPFS despite Western sanctions. Thailand trading with Russia using ruble-baht proves alternative payment systems work even when the West attempts to isolate Russia. The emerging multipolar monetary order doesn't mean everyone wins. It means nations recovering autonomy over monetary architecture lost during 190 years of Western dominance. For you personally, this requires recalibration of monetary exposure. Holding exclusively dollar-denominated assets is a bet that dollar hegemony continues. That bet looks increasingly risky when Asia's 10th economy abandons the dollar system. Diversification into yuan-denominated, rupee-denominated, BRICS currency assets isn't speculation. It's hedging against structural de-dollarization accelerating across Asia. Understanding monetary transitions requires reading analysis from Bangkok, Shanghai, Mumbai, Moscow, not just New York and London. Western media frames BRICS as a threat to rules-based order. Asian media frames it as escape from financial extraction. Both perspectives reveal how power is being redistributed. You're witnessing the end of Western financial control in Asia, not in war, not in sanctions. In Thailand's silent decision to reduce transaction costs by 2% of GDP by joining alternative monetary infrastructure. Not in dramatic announcement, in membership accepted on Thursday, in operational technical integration beginning January, in new monetary reality making 190 years of dollar denomination of Asian trade obsolete. You heard the whisper of monetary revolution. Now watch the arithmetic of its victory.